And also I'm very vulnerable. I have no idea what all is going to go up here. And I worked at Six Flags as a character artist. I worked in front of people, so that allows me to paint in front of people and not always to worry about being perfect. Because I watch videos online, people that speed videos and they paint and they start with the top left corner and they come all the way down to the bottom right corner and they're finished. I don't even pretend to be like that all over the place. I'll paint his lips and then I'll be inspired to paint this flower here or then letters by and then go over and paint that heat. Like my whole thing, as long as I keep my hands moving, I'll get it done. But I step back and stand and stare, but I have to do that too long. Because if I'm thinking about that down there, I just need to take an idea and look at it. But once I know what's going to happen here, I can think about that while I'm painting this too, and have that in mind. And then by the time I'm done with it, hopefully I'll have an idea what to go down there and I'll go down there and do it. So I learned how to be efficient. Yeah. I'll be 40. I just turned 48. Got 3 kids. I got a 19-year-old who goes to college in Chicago. I got a 17-year-old son. He'll be adopted when he was 11 months. I have a 15-year-old. Recently divorced. I have a therapist. I use the bathroom in the morning. I'm just a person who loves to paint, and I do it. And I'm blessed to get paid for it, and people connect with my work, so I feel very fortunate with that. Yep, get to do what I love. So really, like I said this morning on the intercom, outside of painting, hopefully just seeing me in the hallway, I'm from St. Louis, like it's actually a thing that you can be passionate and love your job, and it can happen. Like, who would have knew? I had an uncle that said I should think about going into accounting because I have a better shot at making money. Now I make pretty good money painting walls and dressing in whatever I want to. Tattoo on my neck. Who would have knew? Yep. And I've still been able to get people still asking me to do portraits and all that during the pandemic. I think I panicked for 30 days and then I started getting requested for work again. So, yeah. The whole adage of action speaks louder than words. You get sick of hearing it, but it's true. The very fact that I paint all the time and always practice and I'm always consistent has everything to do with me having a career. Like if I had just started my art career during the pandemic, then I'd be nervous because nobody knows who I am. But because I have 25 years experience and people know who I am and I'm in people's mouths and thoughts and boardrooms talking about we should get Cbabi, I have no idea they're talking about me. I just keep on working and being ready and they see me working and I keep putting stuff on Instagram and Facebook. Then they find me and they call me and say, hey, we need you. I show up. Anything up here that doesn't make sense?
Seem to have a lot of ideas, and I'm sure as you create art on a regular basis, things come and go. Where do you get inspiration? Where do you hear stories, or where do you seek out information?
I get a lot of stuff on Instagram, on Pinterest. That's where I get a lot of my ideas. Watching movies. You guys may just watch movies, but I'll see the paint in the background. I'll see the shirt. I'll see the shirt against the light. I'll see the light on the face. You know, I'll stop a movie and I can't screenshot on my phone, Netflix, but I can put it up on my TV screen, get my camera out and take a picture. And I've done that. Like, it's always in my sight. I'm just now seeing this live the life you've imagined. Yeah, things are in front of our face all the time. We won't always see, but they're there. So hopefully they'll go in, but that's kind of how I approach art. But yeah, I get ideas everywhere. This place, gas station, popcorn smashed all over the ground. A lot of people looks like litter. I see the design and the popcorn kernel, and how it got crushed. Like, man, it's dope. I can think of it as a big abstract thing. So you'll see me in St. Louis in Quick Trip parking lot or gas station taking pictures of corn and stuff on the ground and oil spills. Because I see an image.
No, seriously.
What's that?
You want to tell them why you left the letters up here? Because I had a different display up here before you started this,
Yeah.
and we were going to take the letters down.
Yeah.
And you said no.
No.
What was your thought behind that?
Well, my thought was at first just leave them up because this is Lebanon High School. And then, but yesterday conversation, I don't know where it came from, but I'm working on another mural soon in St. Louis. And it's going in an area that used to be called Mills Creek. And it used to be a predominantly black neighborhood. But they were moved out and it was shut down for the highway to go through. And so the whole thought of gentrification came up. And gentrification, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there'll be like a low income area, a blighted area, sometimes an industrial area where a lot of homeless will live, but also it could be an area just where a lot of poor folks will live. But then all of a sudden that area becomes desirable and cool, and they'll come in and all the architecture will change and new buildings and everything. So it'll go from low income to middle and high income. So those who originally lived there either get forcibly pushed out or displaced or moved. And so the idea of the Lebanon being up here, think about it like that as a symbolism. And some people think you need to pull it off the wall. And not just pull it off the wall, then if there's any like blue bumps or whatever, scrape it so it's real pretty and clean so that something more desirable can come up. Well, think about it like that with the Lebanon being left up, like we were forced to make these letters work and become part of this new thing. And it can still be beautiful, even though it could, I think this is the way they pop out, and they're not so easy to work and paint on, but it's possible. It can be done. So it kind of became a metaphor without by accident. And that's a big thing in St. Louis and in inner cities and urban areas. Like there are a lot of areas that, like where I live, it's kind of it's a cool artsy environment. There are also still a lot of violence, a lot of drugs and all that. But it can become really cool. But in that coolness, a lot of those people who make that neighborhood and environment that aren't necessarily violent, this, that, and the other, but just so they can barely afford living there now. If that area becomes really cool and expensive, they're gonna have to move somewhere else, and they will no longer be a part of the community. They'll change something really different. I mean, it happens. It's part of what happens in society. It's just a thing. Which also is cool to bring here and bring that idea here, because when you have a small town, there's still growth, but you still have peers and families who've been here for ever how old the town is. There's some last names that have been here since day one, and the relatives still live here. I think that's a cool thing. But it's not very common in the city. A lot of city people are transplants. A lot of people come from other cities, other towns. Like a lot of people in St. Louis, in Missouri, talk about African Americans. We're part of a great migration. We escaped, we left slavery and moved up to Chicago and St. Louis. Like East St. Louis is crazy. East St. Louis has a lot of people from Mississippi, and it's weird. You can see it when you see the way they'll tell you the families came from the same town, sometimes the same plantation. It's kind of nuts and bonkers to think about it, but yeah.
Some people migrated from places like Lebanon because we learned that there used to be a much larger African American population here in Lebanon. 100 years ago, when Carol Bell Wright wrote The Calling of Dan Matthews, there were 3 church congregations and a school.
So, get all that up here. Won't necessarily see walking by, but hopefully I get contact for it. Yep. You see what keeps happening day by day till Friday afternoon. Hopefully it just keeps on growing and changing organically.
So do you have some places that I could grab a few of these kids and put them to work, lock them in?
Yeah.
Colors?
I have another question. how do you manage a project like this so that you're able to still convey a message without making it political? You understand where I'm coming
kind of
from?
like
Because,
Seuss.
yeah, everything has the potential to be something controversial or political, especially where we live here. I mean, we deal with it all the time. You keep that in mind, or do you work around that, or what's your approach to that?
Oh, I definitely keep it in mind. And again, like this symbolism that's up there, it doesn't have to be, like even say the red eye on the dove, it could easily be a design element, or I could have took it and put a long drip on it, talk about pieces and exist. I mean, there's all ways to make stuff subtle. But yeah, even the fish, you know, so you could easily make that political. You can make the fish the colors of different cracks and Republicans, but it could also just be about family and friends. Yeah, I mean, folks could go deep, but I don't, yeah, I don't, yeah, there's no need to, create a device of peace, but there's ways to put work up so that it can have many levels of meanings. And also, again, a school environment, so I think it's important that the kids look at it, and especially once I'm not here, to draw up their own idea of what it says. Because it's not about what I can feel, it's about putting, again, I bring me and the school to the wall. And also, that's why the truck, the pig, the horn, there are elements. I want the kids to feel like they see themselves. It's not about, you know, changing the school and the environment. It's about honoring both that and the world outside the school. So.
Kind of curious from the kids, how many of you kids grew up in Lebanon your entire life? Raise your hand. Since Lebanon is represented symbolically and otherwise, is there anything that, not that you're going to get it on there, but that you would say is missing that could be there symbolically to represent Lebanon?
What did you say? Crickets? Is that what you said? Crack.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, 'cause for me, Lebanon was just, my mom and sister lived in Fayetteville, I live in St. Louis. We needed sign, and, you know, handwrite my children, and that's Lebanon was for me, and I drove like St. Louis. So, yeah, this is my first time actually driving around.
Yeah.
Elena, you wrote something on your reflection, that was actually pretty cool. Can you share that?
Yeah, I said that it'd be nice to have some kind of we all get along and everything on the same time, but we all need
Okay. Good guy. That's definitely doable. And I do usually have a tree in the mural too, so, and my bird, so I'm fine with that. Yep. Roots are important.
Well, thanks for sharing. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care now.
Oh, they're looking at the gear and it's a symbol of the Rotary Club.
Nice.
Representing.
Alright.
Yeah. And that's what I hope people see and translate now with the message will change over time.
There is other murals around town, but like some of them are inside the food bank. So there were several summers that they actually, they're quite large, but you can't drive by them to see them. Then there was one that we did 5 years ago in front of the skating rink, and we were actually trying to represent the Native American roots of Lebanon. It got painted over, it's gone. But I'm kind of glad it's gone because we didn't go through all the steps that we should have gone through with contacting the tribal nation in Oklahoma. And we really should have done that. I mean, we were looking for contacts around here and not coming up with much. So when we did the mural over on Washington Commercial, with a little bit more understanding about the proper way to go about this, and we contacted them and got permission to use their seal and set it up in that mural, and I think it lasted a lot longer.
Yeah, it does matter. Yeah, if I'm married, we got somebody who wants to come up to the wall. You
Emmeline,
have to make that happen.
Elena. What's the paint? Oh, you're all shy now, the paint on you. Come on, come paint, let's go, be true. Come on. Just shut down. Wait, I'm gonna sanitize you. I'm sanitizing everything. You get sanitized, and you get sanitized, you get sanitized. Oh, I'm sanitizing everything there. All right, get up there. And when you walk by this, you'll be like, yeah, I touched that, I painted that. Go. You're gonna get you some paint and brush and show your place.
You want to work on the shirt? Agree to the highlights? So fill in. Make your shape here, that shape, triangle, right, so those are the highlights of the shirt. See, and triangle. Start on those. Oh, this green here needs another coat.
Yeah.
You might drip that right. We need the green on the floor, just want the green on the top. Other questions? I get to leave here and then go sit in my hotel room and sketch another mural that start on Monday at another school. We gotta work on designs for a children's book. And then another mural after that.
Did you, I don't remember, did you talk about the album cover for Prince?
No, I don't think I did. So, yeah, I did Prince came to St. Louis 98 and did a concert tour, Love for One Another, and donated food to organizations in the towns he was performing in. And I hung my work at a center in St. Louis. And the two women who brought the food there videotaped the show that me and another artist hung. And a few weeks after the Prince concert happened, one of his secretaries called me and said that he saw some work he liked. And so he bought 3 of my paintings. And then a year later, they called again saying they want to see some more work. So you can go on Google and put my name in and Prince and the album cover. One of the paintings that he bought, he changed. He used one of his albums. He had the Rainbow Children. And I don't always bring that up because for me, I know art is a luxury, and I know people got to pay their bills before they have to buy a painting or anything. So I value everyday people who buy my work just as much as the quote unquote stars. So I don't always remember to bring up stuff like that because I'm just thankful to be able to paint every day and make a living at it. Though it's still a cool milestone, I'm proud of that happening.
You get blessed and hold them. Don't be shy.
Okay, guys, that alarm just means the bell's gonna ring in about 4 minutes to go, so, just so you know that.
Almost free, y'all.
Here comes, Cheyenne's over there. Cheyenne, the people are gonna come in just so you don't get run over.
I really appreciate that. Okay, sounds like a plan. I appreciate your help. For now, and then we can breathe.
Do I need to send out another link?
I did.
From the city?
I did, because I'm constantly trying to make this
So
better.
should I send, no, I appreciate it. So should I then
did
send
post
this one
it-
out?
I did post the most recent again.
No, that's okay.
It's nine volume. But that's just life.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook and everything. It's just that I had to create a different link.
So I should look in the visual art.
Yeah,
page?
yeah.
You guys have a strong fishing culture too, so that's something we talked about Friday, Saturday, trying to do a rainbow trout.
Try to spread out as much as you can. Make sure you keep your masks on.
I looked at as many products as I could, and I just get products. I thought about doing fish, and I just thought about you're in high school, and influence is strong, and it's easy to stuff can go on with whatever cool and whatever is dominant in the classroom or in culture. So most of the fish are going the same way, but I did 2 fish going that way because it's easy for one person to have a strong viewpoint or a strong idea. I'm not gonna say individuals will have ideas that they don't necessarily agree with, but they won't want to stand out. So it's a lot easier if you have 2 people. Sometimes the second person agrees, but sometimes you just need an ally or somebody who can speak to the larger group and say, hey, let the person speak, give them a voice so that, they're not being beat up on too much. But that's kind of what that whole fish thing is speaking to. That it's okay to have your own thoughts in your own mind. But also with that and in balance, I like to have things in balance. So you have the fish up there, down here, be heard. Still kind of goes along with that, like everybody has a voice. And also in the corny, cheesy way, I like putting be heard next to the saxophone because what better way to be heard than to be loud and make noise? And sometimes when you're just learning something or new, you don't really sound great.
You want to sit in
But that
close?
means you need
See
to
it
shut up,
close?
be quiet. You still gotta go for it, just speak out. So, put her with the sax, put that signal with the saxophone. Buzz is hiding here in his hands, so you see him all the time in your face. So it's more subtle, it's just the outlines. That's what Buzz is. You have a classmate who recently passed, and his number was 21. Basketball team, so there'll be a graphic of a 2-1 on her shirt. This young lady is from the Philippines. And she's barefoot. She couldn't afford shoes, but she made shoes out of plaster and drew Nike symbols on them, and she won 3 gold medals. So, yeah, so you have no excuses. Anything you want to do, just go for it, try it. Don't worry about being perfect. You had another classmate who recently passed, and his Zen space was out in the woods hunting. So that character down there represents his spirit, because also he was sharing a video with Black students in St. Louis. And so just think about that whole experience and that merge coming together. So this is him in the woods, and also the river symbols. Bruce Lee has something on YouTube saying "be like water." It's like, pushing. Got the young lady down here doing yoga. So I like that it's anchored by people of color, Black folks, but also make sure everybody sees everybody else in it. So my young man here, you got the young lady here, redheaded. He's not going to be red. One of them's going to be blonde. I think it's going to be him because that's too much yellow. Again, it's also a design thing. You can't have yellow hair and yellow front. Not that blondes can't play the saxophone. I'm not saying it. What else is on here? Flowers, don't worry about the bloom of those next to them. We all grow at our own pace. Don't be envious of the person next to you. If you're meant to do it, just do it, practice. Doesn't mean it's going to come easy. And just for balance, the flower down there, I put this flower down here. Because also I had this flower on Pinterest and I did not paint it, so it really doesn't keep the relevance today. But I just wanted to put that on the wall. And also white. That's white. The dove is white. I couldn't just have this white. That's been driving nuts. So I'm glad that's there. And then the windmill's gonna be a grayscale, so I have white there too. So and her ballet shoes. So I like colors to move around. It's almost like a song. The songs have choruses. Things that repeat 2 or 3 times throughout the song. That's how I am with colors and designs. Like I need something to repeat. Everything needs to repeat. We got pink a few times, pinkish, purplish, yellowish colors. They gotta balance out. I gotta feel them. I gotta be able to squint and see it. So if you ever walking by, whatever, you see me stand back looking, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure everything flows for me. Other people might not see it, but it's just how I create my pieces. The cog, everybody has a part. So that's what this cog is. And also over the weekend, talked about Justice Ginsburg passing. And she mentioned that she believed that there should be 9 Supreme Court justices that are female. So the 9 is for her. That's the Justice Ginsburg. And then you get the pride flag. That just went well with the I think the whole message and also with the design, that just worked as a great space to put that. Just being what makes all students feel like they see themselves on the wall and that they're heard and they're seen. I don't know if I missed anything else. Other than that, I don't know what else is going to go on the wall. It's just kind of happening organically. Again, stripes and all that move are for movement, but then because this was green, it just made sense to have brown stripes because again, we got farming here, so that just works. No excuses to go up here as a textile, so I don't know where it is. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep adding patterns. So it just can keep coming to life. That's not a real saxophone, obviously. It's just paint on the wall. So I like that blue, so I'm gonna figure out how to keep incorporating that throughout the design. Because we know it's a saxophone, so we don't really like to paint for a saxophone. That has something to do with it. Okay. Dennis, firing any questions?
Elizabeth Reddings. Elizabeth Hutton asking if my connection. Also,
I'll see if I can go get them.
I'm asking the students here, who was number 21? Was it Jaden? I thought so.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Jaden Vandergrift, and then the figure of the camo reference is Mason Ivy. Makes him look a little bit older. Actually, last year was just almost unprecedented. It just tragic. It was just really, really hard to do. It's a lot of things. So those two of them from last year. There were more. I don't know who told you to do that, but I love it.
This right here?
Yeah.
Young man in the beginning, first class that had the camera.
Oh, it's great. Well, I think one of them thought you were referencing him when you were talking about the figure on the end.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he gave you that number because it's two different losses, and I'm glad they both have a place. That means a lot.
But yeah, this is my 25th year doing this. I've been doing it a long time. I'm 48. Well, I am 48. I've been saying the last 5-6 years, I'm almost 50. I don't know what it is, fascination about being 50. It is a thing. Yep. Long time.
You mind if I grab a couple of them and have them continue with people working last while?
Nope. That's just because I had it in my hand. I don't know where those stay in the turquoise. Why not? I'm sure somebody in the school wears funky lipstick. If somebody's not scared to get on a step ladder, they can go over the turquoise again. That would be helpful.
I've seen your stuff.
Anybody, everybody? Let's have it done.
Yeah, they already did the middle.
Calm down the brush. Everybody, please. Somebody can do this turquoise too. Let's go over this color again.
Okay. That's right.
Yep. Right there, ready.
Just doing
You done thinking.
Use a lot of detail and you can very hard. It's fine.
Come on. Come on. Come on, do it. And brush. About another kid. Be right back. On my computer.
Grab your sketchbooks, guys. This is your chance to reflect and see symbolism. Oh, yeah, so. Be a part of it.
I love your letter,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Some people make a living at that. A great living.
I thought it was ironic when I learned that, over 100 years ago, penmanship was like a justification for art education. And my handwriting is, it's probably never going to get. No,
I understand.
so people that can do calligraphy and, things together and consistent. Clearly I have a style to it.
If you want to get a different perspective, feel free to get up and move. You can, but I also like you to sketch something to go with your writing.
My daughter's great at letters just now.
All the sheets.
Thank you. It's also part lady too. This would be the one letter that I leave alone, so like, you can't get black, black, white, set. Somebody make this letter.
I got Mr. Riley going to ask you about that.
What's that?
I'm going to ask you about the voters.
Yeah.
So I have to do this before the vote.
Anybody good at lettering? Want to paint some letters?
All you have to do is fill in the lines. He's already drawn them out.
Even if you just do one or two of them, there's really good ones down there with the L. Building, but
There's a light too over here. It's part of the highlight. That's it, that's it over here. Oh, here.
Oh, good.
is that showing up? I didn't even look. Yeah.
You're too shy to jump up and say, me.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's that. All right, see how there are lighter shapes in here? We're gonna do the same thing with this one. Oh, yeah, that's it. So you're just gonna throw this one in.
Okay.
Now, that side is in the shadow pane, probably that. Rolla, yeah. Rolla has awesome artisans, if I remember correctly. The legal guy, I forgot the name of the other person, Schweikert, Myers. Yeah. Two art teachers in Jersey. Okay, cool. We visited there like 18 days. And invited us to do a few things in the a couple students that are going to come paint for a few minutes at 1 o'clock.
Okay. Not good.
Testing.
See if this works.
It's practice for the picture there and whatever it turns out to be.
Okay, I heard a mix with this.
Another color on the same face. And the other thing you can do is,
So, and then I heard that you were here. But, yes, cancer is some people are on the absentee list. Goes out. And then Chris said he would wait to get the bus back. Yeah, he said he would. Okay, thank you, Mark.
That's the other thing, fingers, I just kept looking like a thumb to me, and I was kind of just. So, and now it's just funky hand and all that. Double jointed, double thumb.
I'm gonna probably this weekend, either movie or documentary, sit down and watch it and fall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one, I don't like it. Pretty cool person.
I haven't watched them yet. I have like a list of things I need to watch and, eventually I get to them. Sorry that it took this.